Hello, and thanks for tuning in. My name is Russell, and today I'll be playing through the solo campaign for a game that I saw at actually Essen last year. I think it was last year, yeah. But I didn't actually get to try the game, which was frustrating. But I got a sort of like a demo of how the game plays, and to be honest, I was very impressed. Enough to think about trying to get hold of it, even without actually fully playing the game. It's called Freshwater Fly. It's published by Bellwether Games, and it's a game for 1 to 4 players, and it's designed by a guy called Brian Suhre, I think. I'm not sure. It's Suhre. So yeah, I'm really excited to try this because it comes with a solo mode, because 1 player. And as you can see, it's a game about fishing, which, by the way, is not necessarily something that I'm a big fan of. So the fact is that a game about fishing kind of, and I'm going to say this, draws me in or reels me in, pun totally intended there, is very intriguing to me because the gameplay mechanics work. And to be honest, even if I'm not necessarily fussed on a specific theme, I'm very much a fan of when a game mechanic or the game mechanics in total really tie into the theme of the game, and this one does very much does feel like that. So yeah, there may be fish puns. If anyone is actually watching and wants to contribute to some fish puns, go ahead. I'd love to hear some fish jokes in this. But yes, I'm going to try my best to teach the game. This is a game which I'm not 100% familiar with the rules because I only very recently got this game in my hands because it was very tough to get hold of. But I'm going to try my best to teach it. I'm going to teach the sort of regular version of the rules first, and then afterwards I'm going to teach the the solo mode. Okay, so without further ado, let us switch over to the. Oh, I'm going to make sure I do this right. Okay, so there we go. So what you're looking at here is the side of the board that's for, I want to say like, it does have a number on here, I think, but it's basically, there's a side of the board for solo mode, which is what we're playing, and then there's a side of the board which is for multiplayer. This is the solo mode, but it's very similar. The only thing on the other side is that there are rocks actually on the board. I wish I should have shown you that before I actually set up the game, but it's such a faff to set up. Not really, it's actually not that bad to set up, but I'm going to see if I can see in here. Yeah, so you can see in this version of the board, I don't know if you can see it properly, but the rock positions are actually dictated for you. So there is a rock position on these 3, whereas in this side of the board there are no rock positions. In fact, what you'll do is you'll place the rocks depending on the solo mode rules. So you'll see here that I've set the rules up so that the rocks are on the top left and then sort of diagonally down so they match the solo mode rules. Okay, so the game is about fishing. You are trying to score the most points. Essentially, you're having a fishing competition. Each fish that you catch will score you points. There are points. I'm just going to take a random card from here just to show you. Each card has a number of points in the top right, but they're only revealed later on after you've actually hooked the fish. So if you catch the fish during the game, those fish will be worth points. There are other ways to score points as well. This is the solo side of the board, so it's a little bit different. But essentially, you're going to get points also for completing the objectives, which is this. So if you catch one of each of the colours of fish, of which there's green, black, and yellow, you're actually going to score 3 points for every complete set that you have. You'll also score bonus points if you're the first player to catch 7 or more fish during the game. So that'll be a bonus for kind of triggering the end of the game, because the end of the game will trigger when 7 fish is caught by any player. And then there's also a bonus of 6 points for the player who catches the most of the coho fish, there are more of those, I believe, in the game. If there is a tie, you split the points equally, and you will actually score rounded up. So let's say there's 4 players, and you've all caught the same number of cohos. You'll all get 2 points each, because it's 1.5 each, rounded up. Okay. In this version of the game, there's also a bonus point for the player who gets the most of these, what they're called. I'm definitely going. I think they're called catch tokens. So these are catch tokens, and if you'll get one of the blue ones, you'll score 1 point. So everyone you get will score points. So in the game, how the game works is you are going to take turns doing one of 3 actions. The 3 actions that you can do is to cast, your line. You can reel in. If you have caught a fish, you can then choose the reel action. And then if you don't want to do any of those, or you can't do any of the first two, then instead you do the add finesse action, which is related to this little track here on your board. So there are also bonus actions. There you can use the bonus of using your momentum tile, which are these tiles here. You can also use a finesse action, which is just spending some of your finesse to do something. There's also the skill action as well, bonus action, which are these rock cards. If you get a fish or you end up next to one of these rocks, you get the card, and on the back of these cards are some skill actions. So I'll just show you one. For example, that one allows you to turn a number 5 into a number 6. So yes, so that's basically what the bonus actions are as well. We won't be using those tokens. There are some on the board, but we'll get to those later on. Okay, so let's go through what each of these actions involves. This is your line, or is it your reel board? Again, this is going to be very frustrating because I do wanted to make sure that I do a good job of this. This is a reel board. Okay, so this is your reel board. So obviously when you catch fish, each player has one, and it has various aspects. We'll go over those in a second. But yes, ultimately, the game on your turn, if you choose to do the cast action, what you are going to do is you are going to take... Oh yes, so this is how the majority of the game works. In a multiplayer game, there are multiple dice, depending on the number of players, and you basically roll those dice, and that's kind of your actions options. You must take a dice when it's your turn, so I'm going to put the dice... let's just put them here for now. It's very hard to see because of the exposure on this, but I'll just say what these are. So you've got a 6, 3, 4, and a 2. So when it's your turn to choose one of the main actions, you must take one of the dice. In a single player game, it's slightly different in that I'm just going to take turns and use all of the dice. Oh, well, actually, I'm going to use 3 of the dice in each of them. But in a multiplayer game, you're going to draft the dice, and that's kind of the main thing of the game. The number is useful for the first 2 actions, the cast action and the reel action. But in terms of the adding finesse to your kind of supply of finesse, it doesn't actually make a difference what the number is. So first thing you'll do is you'll take one of the dice, and let's say you wanted to do the cast action. The number that you choose actually tells you which kind of column you're going to cast, okay? So I'm going to just take the 6, for example, and I'm going to choose this action. I'm going to choose the cast action. What that means is I'm going to place the cast token, which is this. It's a huge block of wood, actually. It's like literally like quite sizable block. And you're going to place it in one of these 3 spaces in the appropriate column. So I might go, okay, let's go here. In fact, there's not that much difference between these. They're all green fish. And generally, the difference in color means how easy it is to catch that fish once you've hooked it. So let's say I go here. If I go here, what I'll do now is I'll check to see whether the fly color matches the column that I'm in, and the fly color relates to these catch tokens on the bottom. As you can see here, none of these 4 tokens actually match. Oh, hey Steph, thank you for tuning in. I am very good. I'm actually really excited because this is a game I've had my eye on for about 9 months, and I've finally got my hands on a copy of it. So this is very exciting for me. I'm really looking forward to explaining and playing the game. So I'm just in the middle of the teach. If there's anything that you're confused about, I'll do a quick summary at the end, and then you'll hopefully understand it all. Okay, so yeah, basically I probably wouldn't want to cast it in this column because the fly that I've got doesn't match this. It means I can't actually catch anything here, because what that means is if you first cast, okay, so the first cast, and again I'm going to have to refer to the rulebook a lot more than I feel comfortable in this teach because I'm not used to this game. But the first landing, place the casting token on any card in the column. If it matches one of them, yes, so this is how it works. It's a bit fiddly because there's these kind of strike tokens which basically tell you whether you've got the yes, so you've played this game. I'm cool. Like, how do you find it? Because I'm not really that interested in fishing in real life, but I love the way that the mechanics and the theme tie together very well. Like, it makes sense what you're doing. So yeah, because this is like the stream, and basically things are going to go like downstream, which is really cool. So these strike tokens basically determine whether I actually hook the fish. So I want to basically draw as many of these as I can. So anytime you first go in there, if the fly matches one of these, so let's actually change this up. Let's do 4 because that's one that actually will make sense. The first time you cast, if your fly matches the token in there, you get to draw one of these strike tokens, okay? So I would draw, so for example, the first one. If it's like this, it means that I haven't hooked the fish, so I don't get it. But if it was the catch token, that would be it. I would immediately catch the fish, and that's great. So if I catch the fish, if I don't catch the fish, I then move downstream. When you move downstream, you can move to any of the orthogonally or diagonally adjacent fish. So let's say that I cast here. I could actually move to here or to here. If I go here, I can go to here or here. If this was a fish, I could also move here. If, however, I try to catch this fish, the only place I can go downstream from here is into this space here. Okay? If, by the way, you move into a space which is adjacent to a rock space, you actually get that rock token, that rock card, sorry. I'm just checking that. If fish card, yes, yes. This is very frustrating because I do not want to set the hook. I think, is it only if you hook? Oh yeah. Yes, okay. So only if you hook the fish in the space orthogonally adjacent to this. So if I hook a fish here, here, or here, I get this rock card. And that's good because it kind of adds an extra bonus action that I can use later on. So let's say I didn't do this. So I hooked here and I'm going to go next. I'm going to go, well, actually, I'm going to try and catch this fish here. So next thing is I look in the column. Does this match the column? Now, because it's not the first time and I've actually drifted downstream, at this point, if this matches one of the tokens, I actually get 2 cards, okay? So I get 2 cards, which I'll draw from here. And look, one of those cards was the hook card. So I actually successfully catch this fish, all right? So this comes over here. And this will now live above the space on my real board, which matches the color. So this brown card here will go here. And actually, what I do right now is I flip it over. So this now means that I have the brown fish with 5 points on my line. I'm hooked it in. Okay. If I hadn't caught it, by the way, you get one more choice. You get one more choice to drift down, and then if I don't match it after the second go, so let's say I didn't catch it here, I went down here, tried to hook it again, but actually I couldn't because there's no matching color tokens, then I've lost my turn. That literally is it. So you have to be very careful when you're doing this. But let's say, luckily, in this instance, I've actually hooked the fish. So these kind of get shuffled back, and then they can be used for the next person that's trying to catch a fish. You would actually immediately replace it with a card from there. Okay? Actually, is that true? I think actually, again, this is the most frustrating thing, is because if I'm not refill the empty space on the game board with the top fish from the deck, and then your cast is over. Yeah, so actually this is just, it just gets refilled. So another fish takes its place. Okay, so that's casting. So like I said, first landing, if it matches a token with the fly, you get 1 strike card. If you don't, then you carry on, move to an orthogonally or diagonally adjacent space that's not a rock, in the next column to the left, because your line is drifting downstream. Try again. If it matches any of the tokens that match your fly, you get 2 strike cards, and then you get another choice then. So you're guaranteed to catch a fish. Let's say I took a 5 column here. You see how the white token that I've got the white fly for matches all of these. I'm pretty much guaranteed to catch a fish. And so there's some strategy for you in choosing maybe to cast higher than where you are, because the next 2 down are almost guaranteed. And actually that might be more beneficial for you for reasons. I don't know, you might have a better chance of catching one of these fish down here. Okay, so let's talk about the next action, which is casting. Oh yes, so the final thing you'll do, by the way, is if you successfully catch that thing, you'll place this token in the top part of here, and that's kind of now locked into your reel. So that's what you're going to try and do next. In a multiplayer game, it would just be the next player's turn, and they do etc. Okay. In a single player game, well, we'll get to that later on. We'll do all the single player rules. But the second action is to reel, okay? So now we've got the fish on the line, and now we're going to try and reel it in. We still have to draft a dice, so I might choose to go this. The reason why you choose a higher dice in this instance is because you'll have more ability to sort of reel the fish in with a higher value of dice. What you're looking at here is the real number of the fish itself, and that's like the strength of the fish. So the strength of 1 is actually quite low, meaning it's not going to give you much resistance with being able to reel the fish in. So what will happen is you'll draft a die, and this is the basically thing you'll use to try and draw it in. You are going to now calculate the value of the dice, okay? And you're going to subtract the number of the fish, the real value from here, in order to determine how far you reel it in, okay? So at this point, I take 6 and I'll minus 1 from that, and now I get to move this dial clockwise that number of spaces. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I land on this space here, okay, I actually get to move the card 1 space up this track. And that's really good because the only way to get the fish completely is to completely remove it from the board. If, however, the fish moves off the right-hand side of the board, which it could do, you're going to lose that fish and you're not going to get it. So you have to be very careful when it comes to choosing or having the right values to do this. Now you'll notice there's different kind of iconography on here, and these mean different things when you do this. So I'm going to just remind myself of exactly what they do, because I don't want to make this spot. There are 5 reel spaces. When your reel lands on or passes this top space, like I said, your card's going to move to the left. When your reel lands on this space, okay, so if you land it here exactly, you are going to take this token and you're going to cover up the reel space of that fish card, meaning the resistance is now nothing. So basically you've kind of, worked out the fish's movements. And that's going to help you, right? The third space, so when it lands on this space here, the momentum token, that allows you to take one of the momentum tiles from the board here, okay? Now, there are going to be 5 or maybe different values in a multiplayer game, but in a single player game, you don't get much choice, especially in the campaign. You're going to start off with just 1. So if I landed here, I'd actually get to take this token, which might help me to do things that help me catch fish, okay? They are double-sided, and that's important for a reason. So I might take that token if I landed there. When your reel lands on this space, it actually gives you finesse. And like finesse is helpful because it lets you do things that help you during the game. Like, for example, change up the color of the fly that you're using, manipulate dice results, move these kind of catch tokens up and down the board, as well as draw extra strike cards. So you can actually use finesse to go, right, I didn't catch it, let's use some of my finesse and just reveal another card. So that might be like the last card you needed to draw. You can use it, so it's quite good. The other things you can do, by the way, is to use all of your finesse, well, one of your finesse, only if it's in this selection here. I'll get to that later on, but you can actually just use your finesse to cover this token up immediately, so it's quite helpful. This one here, as like I said, is up finesse. This one is the tricky one, and this makes me kind of enjoy the thematic of the game, because you'll see here, it's got a green symbol and a yellow symbol, which is the easiest and the hardest card. If I was to land on this space, and the fish I'm trying to catch is yellow, you're actually going to push the reel down. So this is actually going to make it so you don't want to land here if you've got a yellow card, because it's going to make your job harder, okay? When you go to this space and it's a green card, though, it actually helps you immediately get that. So it kind of makes it easier for you to catch fish that are easier to catch, and it makes it slightly harder for you to catch fish that are the hardest to catch. So I really like that. Otherwise, if it's the black colored fish, you just leave it as it is. Okay, so literally that's it. When you're, and that's it. So you might take multiple turns to reel in a single fish, especially if it's a more difficult one. So that's part of the game. So that's the first 2 actions explained, hopefully. Hopefully I did a good enough job. I might just have to shuffle this. Actually, you know what? I'll just do this instead, because I'm not meant to see what value that is. So let's just shuffle these up a little bit, so there is a chance that fish could come up earlier on, and let's cover that up. All right. By the way, how's the sound? There's a party going on outside, which I'm going to be joining later on. It's socially distanced, don't you worry. But I've turned my mic down just a little bit to compensate for the fact you might have some background sound. So if I need to turn it up, just let me know. Okay, so that's the first 2 actions. The third and final action that you can do on your turn is you still draft a dice to do this, but ultimately you just take the dice and you bump up your finesse up 2 spaces along this track here, okay? You can never go above 4. So if you have 3 and you take the action because you can't do one of the other 2 things, you simply just move it up to 4 and that's it. You wouldn't get to store any. So let's talk about finesse, okay? Finesse actions can be used before or after taking your dice action. And as I said, there are different kinds of actions. The following 3 actions can be activated no matter how much finesse you've got, But all of these actions that I'm going to explain cost you 1 finesse. But these ones are available no matter where this is on the track, okay? So you've got the manipulate dice results. When you want, you can spend a single finesse to bump up a value up 1 to a maximum of 6. It doesn't wrap around, so 6 does not go up to a 1, for example. Or to reduce it by 1, you might be like, oh, I've got high value 5, but actually I want to cast in the 4 column. Great, use a finesse, and then bump it down to a 4, then choose that 4 and take the action. The third thing you can do is to always activate a strike card. So if you've done a real action, and after your turn you can be like, okay, I want to just try and get that fish, so you'll just reveal one last card, and if hopefully that's the one you need, that's the strike. Okay, so the second, the fourth action you can only do if your finesse track is on the 4, 3 or 2 spot, and that allows you to switch up your fly. There is an amount of flies in the supply, but you can just flip it over, or you can take one from here. There is multiple colors. There's, I think, 4 of each color, but some of them are like kind of on the other side of things. So there's never a reason you will not be able to get the fly color that you want. And that's obviously strategic, because that will determine where you were able to cast from, okay? So you might go, okay, I'm going to flip it over, and there we go. Now you can start catching the yellow ones. The fifth action you can do, and this is only available if you're in the highest finesse action, is to cover up the real spot on the fish. So if you've got a fish in your on your line, you've hooked it, you can cover up the resistance on that. So that's going to help you to catch that fish. Okay, so so that's that. Let's talk about the bonus actions. Okay, momentum action is a bonus action that can be done before or after your dice action, as is the finesse, which we've just talked about, as is the skill actions, which is one of these rock cards, or the other side of these rock cards. They each let you do things, and like I said, it says you can do these as many times as you want. I think momentum tiles you can only do once, but you can do these bonus actions as many times as you want generally. You may only play 1 momentum tile per turn, and you may only have 1 momentum tile at a time, but the other ones, I believe you can have as many as you want, and you can use them as many times as you want. Yes. So from finesse, we've already gone through. The momentum tile, this one here is the only one that's available, but there are some others in the other parts of the game. So you'll see there's just a few selections are available when you're playing the multiplayer game, but they work the same way regardless of which one you do. So this tile here, if I wanted to use it, what this lets me do is to change up the fly color that I have, okay? So that's what that one does. This one looks like it allows me to place the casting token onto a 6 thing. So it allows you to do a free cast, essentially. And I'm just going to double check this. Yes, change your fly or cast to column 6. So if I have this tile, I can just use it before my turn to cast. And then I could use my actual dice action to reel it in, if that makes sense, if I catch it, obviously. So that's basically why the momentum tiles help. They're quite powerful. So when you've used a momentum tile, by the way, I think you flip it over. Again, this is my poorest teach yet, do apologize. So it says, after taking the action on your momentum tile, immediately return it to the momentum tile space on the board and flip it to its opposite side. So I'll never get to do that twice in a row, but the next time, look, that one just gets you 3 finesse. So the way to get momentum tiles, by the way, that's another thing. How do you get momentum tiles? How do you get them? That's the big question. I'm not sure. I am not sure of that. Maybe there's things in the game that let you do it, but I can't remember how you actually get them. Maybe it's when you go to these things, but I don't know. I'm not sure of that. That sucks, doesn't it? There may be ways to get it. I'm assuming it's... I'm not really sure. Let me just have a quick check, just in case. There are 3 types of actions. Yes, no, it doesn't say... I don't think I've missed anything here. Okay, when you reel lands on the momentum space, immediately take... Okay. Oh, yes, of course. Here, I already went through this. Of course, I already went through this. That's how you get them. Okay, so that's another thing. Okay, so I think that's the majority of the game for the multiplayer. The game ends when in the round where a player has picked up their 7th fish. And at that point, I think there is going to be a complete round. because I think the round will end after all of the dice have been sort of resolved. And so that's the game end. And then you're going to basically count up your points based on the objectives as well as the number of fish you've caught. If you have a fish on your line at the end of the game but you haven't reeled it in, unfortunately that does not count and you'd have to discard that. And then you work out your points. Now you'll see on my reel board here, at least you should be able to, I've got a number of kind of symbols on this sheet which basically tell me that at the end of the game I'll score bonus points for catching these catch tokens, and as well as catching brown fish. I will score 2 points for every one of those, but I also score 4 points for every dolly, cutthroat and brook that I catch, as well as 5 points for every unique set of 4 catch tokens that I have in the game. So that's how you'll score. Now in the solo game, it's slightly different and actually quite interesting. So there's a campaign and you're playing across 7 days. I don't know if we'll get through, I don't think we'll get through all 7 days. We'll see. But ultimately, I need to get 7 days. I need to basically to win against all the silent angler is the name of my opponent in this, and I need to win against the silent angler in all 4 of these locations across 7 days. So each day basically I play a game against them, and I will hopefully win against them, and I'll only win if I score sort of more points than them. The way that they score is different each round. And the way that the silent angler plays is different and unique to the solo mode, so I'll just explain that. There's a nice little kind of bonus thing here as well. When you're playing in solo mode, if you achieve certain objectives, which I'm going to go over in a second, they're called the guidebook challenges. If I achieve a certain amounts of those, I will score one of these star symbols, and that can be given to me as a reward in terms of extra things in the game. For example, I could boost up the number of rocks in each of these decks, and at the moment there's just 1 of these. But if I have 2, then it gives me more skill cards to play with throughout the game. This one also will boost up the amount of finesse I start each round with, and also just bonus points, as well as skill cards and a different rod. So this is the rod I start with in this game, but actually I can unlock different ones which give me different scoring abilities. At the beginning of the game, you are actually going to start with a star, which is this one, and that one basically allows me to, I was supposed to have a pencil, I don't think I have one available annoyingly, but it just doesn't matter too much. But I'm actually going to unlock a momentum tile. It does say you can choose any, but this game says this is your free badge. It's underlined to show it's available to you to claim a journal upgrade, which is these things, and it does suggest you choose 1A as a momentum tile. So that's what we're going to do. It says also, using a pencil, note your day score versus the silent angler. So when I do that, and in each guidebook challenge, mark the boxes and underline the star when a challenge is completed to gain the badge. You'll also gain a badge when you beat a location. Okay, so if I win against the silent angler in any of these locations, starting with the first, and only can I go on to the second one after I've beat the first, I'll gain a badge. So it'll constantly give me better, and probably means it's going to be harder for me to complete these ones up here. Okay, fill in a journal upgrade for each badge underlined, then fill in the badge to show it's been used. Okay, so yeah, basically this is me saying, okay, I've got one, I'm going to use it to do that, and then I'm going to fill that in, but I'm not going to do that right now. And nicely, the game comes with multiple ones of these, so you don't have to just stick it with the first one, which is quite nice. And I think even in the rules, there's another one as well. It's very random, like it's just split it up between the appendix, not addendum, and so you've got 2 more full campaigns to play through. So that's kind of cool. All right, so we're going to do this. We're going to just put this over on the side here. If you have any questions, by the way, so the silent angler, we're going to go through that first, and then we're going to get stuck into the game, because it's been going a long time. Okay, so the silent angler is kind of your silent opponent in this game, and they take their turns slightly differently. So let's just look over exactly what they do. So this is fiddly. Okay, so basically the setup is almost identical. In this case, though, you don't have a kind of pile of tokens in the bag. Usually you just randomly do it. Instead, you put 5 of each color token into the bag, and then you'll just put 4 or the number of tokens on each one. There is a setup for each location. We're on the first one, and it tells you how many of the colors, how many of the tokens to put in each spot. So we've put 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, and there is a 5th one over here with 5. Sorry, a different hatch tile with 5, and these are going to kind of shift down during the game, which I didn't explain, by the way. So at the end of the game, at the end of each round, you're going to do the following steps. So you basically sum up the total of the dice in a multiplayer game, and the player who's got total that's the lowest is actually going to get to go first. So that's a nice way of kind of helping the player who hasn't done that well in the round. They'll get to go first. And then you'll move the hatch tiles. So these hatch tiles kind of move down, they go one column to the left, and then the one that's not on the board will come onto the board. In a normal game, you'd get rid of those tokens and they'd be discarded, and then only when the bag is empty do you then put all of the discarded tokens back in and start refilling it again. But in the solo mode, essentially what you'll do is you'll just move this token, this tile that gets bumped off, and you'll put it back up the top here, so it'll come back onto the game. So in a normal game, you'll place, you'll discard them, blah, blah, blah. Then you'll roll all the dice to create a new dice pool, and then you start again from normal. So that's kind of how it works. It just slides down, basically. In a single-player game, though, it's slightly different. What happens... well, let's just talk about this first. The setup at the start of each round, examine the printed number of this, and this is how many dice you'll roll, and this is also the number of tokens on that space. So you actually, for the first game, we're going to get 3 turns each, I think. And then the last action, the dice that I don't take, so I'm going to just take 3 turns in a row, and then the silent angler is going to get use the last dice to do their action. So I can actually help determine which of the dice they're going to get left to use. And what's going to happen, they'll always cast to the bottom row of whatever the column is on this. So they're going to, let's say this is their last dice, they're all going to cast to the bottom of here, or the one closest to the hatch tiles if it's a rock, so they would go here. And then they will always receive 1 strike card for every fish the casting token is placed on or drifts to. So they're going to draw 1 of these strike cards, okay? Ignore the hatch tokens for determining if they're gained, since the silent angler doesn't have a fly. And no strike cards are gained on rock cards. So actually, they won't do it there. So if I left them a 3, that'd be pretty sweet, actually. Cast to the bottom row. Yes, that's right. So it doesn't matter if it's if there's a rock, it'll actually still cast it. That's kind of cool. If the silent angler does not hook a fish, the casting token drifts up to the next row in the same column. So up to the next row in the same column. If the silent angler does not hook a fish in the third in the top row, so they're going to keep going and so on. And if they don't catch a fish by this point, they've wasted their turn, which is actually good for us. If the silent angler hooks a fish, then they're going to get the hook fish and 1 hatch token from the same column. And the way that you determine the token they take, okay, is depending on the dice number. So let's say they've managed to get here and they've hooked a fish. You're going to look at this number here, and they're actually going to take the number that matches this on this little sort of like board here. Now you're going to look here and see, is there a grey token? Because there's a 3 and the 3 is showing grey. There's no grey token here. So instead you could look to the next kind of one in a clockwise kind of rotation, and that says a green. So you're actually going to take the green token. They're going to take that, and that's going to help them score points at the end of the game. Okay, so yeah, basically that's that. If the silent angler does catch a fish, their cast is over. So if they catch a fish straight away, then their cast is over and it's done. All right. They don't have to reel it, by the way. They just get it. Yes, okay. So if no hatch tokens are available, advance to the silent angler's finesse token 1 space to the right on their achievement track. So this is basically, they're going to get points if we don't have tokens. So that's nice. So basically, well, nice for them, not for me, obviously. Oh, you alright? Flat tire. Did it puncture? No, it just needs pumped up, I think.
did pump it.
Oh, so it's got a puncture.
Does that try? Does it not?
No, I can't. I'm in the middle of the live stream. Sorry. All right. So I like the method to catch the fish with the wheel. Yes, it's great. I can't wait to try that, actually. Okay. So now I think we're ready to go. Yeah. So basically, at the end of the game, the silent angler is going to score points. This is something we need to do. The silent angler is going to score points, and this is how they do it. So basically, after the silent angler's turns have concluded, the round is over. In the case of the last round of the game, or when they get to here, there's going to be 5 dice. And, well, actually, it's going to keep rotating around. So if it gets here, the actually angler is going to add an extra dice. So the actual silent angler is going to get 2 turns in this round. But later on, it can be more of these tiles that have 5 dice. So they're going to get more turns, okay? So at the end of the round, if they didn't catch a fish this round, advance the finesse token 1 space to the right. Then move the hatch tiles as normal, but don't discard the hatch tokens. Yes, so I've said that already. And then you begin the next round by rolling on. The day ends at the end of any round when either of you or the silent anglers caught a 7th fish. Then you score as normal, but the following addition to the common achievements shown on the game board. You earn 1 point for every hatch token matches the bonus one, which is the one that was left over when I was setting up the game, which is blue. Annoyingly, it doesn't match any of these here, so it's actually annoying for me to go to that. I may as well try and catch lots of whites. I'd rather have something like you have to fish something for the evening meal. Yeah, that's nice. I like that thematically. That's quite nice. And then, yes, basically, they're going to get bumped up on here. That's 21 points if they get all the way over there. So basically, if they don't catch anything, if there's no tokens available, or if they don't catch a fish in a round, they're always going to get bumped up. So that's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Yeah, okay. And that's it, basically. We'll go over what the kind of specifics of the campaign things are when we get to the end of the game. But yeah, this is quite nice way to start. So yeah, just a reminder, if you hook a fish adjacent to one of these rock spaces, you actually get the rock card, and that's a bonus action. And the actions will reveal, we'll talk about when they're revealed, but they're ultimately about manipulating sort of the dice and doing other things. So yeah, that's it. We're ready to begin, actually. So yeah, very excitingly, finally going to get around to starting this game. And I was watching your Welsh lesson. Oh, brilliant. So yeah, that one, I'm actually going to play some Paper Mario tonight because I really enjoyed that. It's a weekend, so I can do it a little bit later than usual. But yeah, I'm very excited. Oh, what does my friends... Oh, okay. Okay, wonderful. So let me just quickly reply to somebody. Yeah. Sorry, my friend's just texted me. He says it's got 1% battery. So I have to text him back right now. I don't really like doing this on stream. Anyway, so we're ready to begin. Let's just do the game. Okay. Definitely. Okay, cool. That's sorted. All right, so yeah, basically, I'm very excited about this game. Okay, so round one, I don't think there's anything else I need to do. Oh, I could pick a fly. Okay, so the first thing I do before I begin the game is I can pick a fly. What did you think, by the way, of my Welsh lesson? Because I really enjoyed that. It was actually all Monique's idea, and really enjoyed it. It was so fun, and I think I'm actually going to carry on the playthrough. I've tweaked some settings so the game will actually run nicer, at least this time. So yeah. Okay, so we start by choosing a fly. Which one are we going to do? I think I'm going to get loads of points for catching the white one. So I think let's just try with the white, I think. We might get lucky. Okay, so let's roll the dice. I don't know where I can do this where it's going to be really easy to see. Let's just do it here, I think. Okay, oops, probably not the best. Okay, so just to let you know, we've got a 3. Let's do this so you can actually see where the dice are. And you can kind of see, because I think it's clearer to see there. So we've got 3, 2 4s, and a 5. You were laughing a lot, yeah. Well, you know, my Welsh accent does tend to cause a lot of humour. So yeah, okay. So we begin the game by choosing one of these. I need to catch. It did sound a little bit like Indian. It does. There's like linguistically, phonetically. I don't know the exact word. Audibly, they're not that much difference between them, honestly. You can easily jump from one into the other. Okay, so, oh yes, this needs to go up here. That shouldn't be there. I don't know why I put that there. And that's the momentum tile. So if I want that, I need to try and land on here. Okay, so I need to catch fish, obviously. I'm going to get points for browns, dollies, cutthroats, and brooks. Now, there's a lot of dollies and cutthroats in here, and they're in white columns. So I think that I'm going to try and cast into this. So I'm going to take the 5. Okay, and I'm going to cast now, so sploosh, basically. I actually don't want to catch here, annoyingly, so I have to choose carefully whether I want to... No, actually, I'm sorry, I've just made a silly mistake. I think I'm actually going to change it and take a 4 instead, okay? So I'm going to take the 4, it's a bit cheating, but I'm going to go here. I'm going to take the risk and the fact that I don't think I'll be able to catch this right now. Because I think 1 out of 4 is crazy, but I'm going to get 2 cards here. So yeah, basically, let's just shuffle these up, and we're going to reveal one. There's also, by the way, an app, and I actually might download the app quickly while I'm on the stream, because I want to see what it's like, but I think it's literally just the Strike app, so it's kind of funny that there is an app for just revealing the cards. Freshwater Fly Strike, yeah, it's literally just alternative to using the Strike cards in the board game. You know what, I will download it because I want to see what it's like. But yeah, it's kind of funny that there is an app for that. Okay, so yeah, basically now I've cast. I actually now reveal 1 card from here, and if it's a strike, then I've caught the fish. Oh, look at that! First time, wonderful. So that's caught, meaning I've actually caught the dolly. which is one I wanted. Brilliant. So unfortunately, it does mean that I don't get the rock card, but I think that's a fair enough sacrifice. So now what happens, I'll take this, and I'll take the matching token that I used, and I'll put it in here. And now it's a medium level fish, so you can see I'm going to put it here. Oh, the other side up, of course. So this is a 3-point fish. With a resistance of 1, okay? So now what happens, and I immediately replace this. So this one goes down here, and you can see what's coming up. Wonderful. Okay, actually it doesn't matter where that is anymore. So now I've caught that. So now my next action is to take one of these and try and catch it. Now, I could try to catch the fish. What happens to the fish if you don't catch them? Is it you just have to catch them before the end? Because I don't think there's a mechanic in here to kind of at the end of the round kind of shuffle the fish over, because I think that's kind of crazy. I think you just have to make sure that you can do it before the end of the round. So in that sense, do I want to go and take like the 3 and then end up here and then I'll catch it next round? Maybe? I think so. And if you move past here, does it immediately catch it and I don't get that value? I'm assuming yes. So let's do that. Okay, so I've spent that die, so that's gone. My next action is I'm going to take the 3 here. Yeah, I'm going to... actually, it's risky, you know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Or I can take the 5, and that'll take me into the section up there. I mean, it doesn't matter. I just want to catch a fish, right? So yeah, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to take the 5. It's going to be minus by 1 because of this value here. And it's literally just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So it literally just ends there. No, actually, that's silly, isn't it? That's silly. I want something for my efforts. I'm going to go here and take the 4. And I'm just going to then cash in by getting something. So I gain a finesse. That's literally it. Okay, so I've taken the finesse. That's the end of the go. Luckily, the fish is still in the line, so I've got one more chance to get him. And actually, if I take that 3, it's as good as mine. The only thing it does mean is that... oh, no, actually, if I take the 5, then it gives the guy less likely to catch the fish because he's only going to get 2 chances. So yeah, I'm going to take the 5 here. So this is what happens. I go minus the 1, so it goes 4. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4. And I just need to check if that means I immediately get the fish or if I have to wait till my next turn. So when I do the reel action, whenever your reel lands on one of these spaces, you must immediately take the action shown. Whenever your reel lands, immediately move one of your fish one section to the left. Oh, shoot. Wait, did I mess this up, didn't I? I haven't got enough space to catch it. But it stays on my line, I believe. I think it does stay on my line. Yes, oh my gosh. So I need to actually really get it. Oh wow, that's crazy. So actually it stays on my line. I don't lose him. It's just the end. Oh no, is it the end of the round or the end of the game? I think at the end of the round. I think, no, I'm fine. I still get to keep them. That's good. Okay, so I am going to catch it. That's good. But it does make it interesting. Oh, because I guess they have to catch 7 fish as well. So if I'm not catching fish, as long as they're not catching fish faster than me, I still have a good chance of winning the game. Okay, so there we go. So we're going to take that finesse. Sorry, it should have been there, right? Because it was here, and I've taken the 4 action. So it's 1, 2. Wait, no, I've taken the 5 action. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, so it's there, and my fish is in the easy section here. Okay, fine. So the end of the round comes now, and the silent angler is going to get to take their turn. So they're going to go here. They've taken the thing, and they don't get any strike cards because of that. In fact, let's try now using the strike app. So the silent angler will always cast the bottom row, and they're going to go here. Will always receive 1 strike card for every fish the casting token is placed on or drifts to. And you ignore the thingy. So yeah, basically they're going to get 2 strike cards. If they don't... okay, so this is, again, it's a bit of a fiddly thing. I do apologise. I do like to do a better teach than this. But yeah, so they go here. There's nothing there. They go here next, and they are going to catch one. But let's use the strike action. Let's just use the strike app for this. Okay, I'm going to put it here. I don't know if you can see it properly, but let's put it here. Tap anywhere to draw a strike card and tap that to shuffle. Okay, cool. So we're going to do this for them. Is that what I did? Yeah? Oh, they caught it. All right, fair enough. Well, they were lucky. I might just put them face up so I remember to shuffle them. So they caught it. So they're going to take that fish and they're going to put it over on their section over there. Where shall I put it? I mean, maybe it would be nice. You know what? Let's just put it over here on the side. Can you see that? I think you can see that. Let's see what they got. They got a 6-pointer. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. It is a tougher fish to catch, but yeah, that is frustrating. I got to make sure that I am aware of that, because if you look at the column, they had a chance to catch 2 yellow fish, which is just crazy. Like, I should be getting them to catch one of these green fish. In fact, I'll give them the 6 next time. Anyway, so that's the end of that. Okay, so now it's the end of the round. So what happens is this comes over here, replaces this one. These all slide down like that. And one other neat touch about this game, by the way, is actually I'm going to take this off because I've just realized I can't see the chat when I do this. So, okay, there we go. Back to chat. Okay, sorry about that. Next round begins. So yeah, we revealed that this is the new sort of makeup of the tokens. I am now going to roll 4 dice because that's what's there. And we begin. I think that's what we're doing, isn't it? We take this token. That's what it is. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Just need to check that. Roll dice based on the number of... what does it say? Roll dice... oh man. But it doesn't actually say. I'm assuming it's the one on the leftmost column, but I'm not entirely sure anymore. Let's just check. Roll dice. Start of each round, examine the printed number on the on-deck hatch to the right of column 6. To the right of column 6. Ooh, to the right of column 6. Which is this. To the right of column 6 is this one? Oh no, did I mess up? I'm really not sure. On deck hatch tile. On deck hatch tile. So that means I think I should have rolled an extra dice last round, because that's the on deck one, I think. To the right of column 6, yeah. It doesn't say on deck though, weirdly. Maybe it mentions it in the thing. Per 60 the on deck shuffled the 16 roll the dice. Nope. So hatch tokens, hatch tile equal hatch tiles. It doesn't... Oh, it's so confusing. I'm not sure what that means. I'm sorry. I can't remember either. I'm going to say, because on here, examine the on-deck hatch tile before each round. But what is the on-deck? But the on-deck hatch tile to the right of column 6. That must mean this one. And it does say to put it on the right. So actually, I should have rolled at least 1 extra dice last round, meaning that I'm just going to roll this and... okay, so it's a 6. I mean, thinking about it, obviously would have let that, but I'm just going to take that to catch this fish because I would have had an extra... No, he would have had an extra turn. So I have to do this. Okay, that's fine. I think that's fine. We want him to have the 10s. That you want to give him a fair trial, but that's actually worked out best for us. Because, I mean, I might have taken that, but it's fine. It's worked out. So yeah, tries to catch a fish here. So let's go back to the cards. Let's go back to the cards, shuffling them up. So hard to shuffle 4 cards because it's like... the chances of remembering which one is which. I mean, I'm purposely trying not to, but it's just... Anyway, let's just do a random one. Let's do this one. Okay, so he doesn't catch that one. Does he catch it again? Let's do the bottom one. Okay, doesn't catch that one. Is he going to catch this one? Oh, he caught a fish which was here, right? Did he catch this fish? No, I caught that fish. And he caught a fish... and his number was a 3, wasn't it? So he caught a yellow fish on 3. I think he caught this one, so he gets that rock card, I think. So that's annoying. But because it was a 3, he should have got a grey token, but there's no grey, so he would have got a green, there's no green. So literally he would have got a blue token. So that's another thing for him. He's going to take that token as well. Sorry about that. And then finally, let's see, top one. Oh, yes, there we go. At least there's something. So he didn't catch a fish that round. So I believe... that he gets to remove his token up, I think. Let me just check that. When he doesn't catch a fish, the casting token drifts up. Oh gosh, where is it? If the silent hooks a fish, award yes, okay. Yes, but if it does not hook a fish, the cast is over. And then there was an extra rule, wasn't there? Sign did not catch a fish this round. Oh, he caught a fish this round. Okay, so he got away with not that. Sorry about this. This game is, I'm learning as I play. So we did get through the first round eventually. Because he caught a fish this round, he did catch one. He does not get to... Oh, this gets filled up by a fish now, I realised. He did catch one this round. It was a good one. But because he did catch one this round earlier on, even though he didn't get one then, he doesn't move up on that track. So there we go. And I believe that if he doesn't catch... And there was another thing about at the end of the round, if he doesn't catch a something... Oh, goodness me. All right. Did not catch a fish this round. Yes. Oh, so then you'd move it. Right, yes. So that's fine. There we go. So would decide... Yeah, that's fine. He gets the token. Yeah, there we go. And if there's no... Yeah, so basically he only moves up on that track. If he doesn't get a hatch token... or she doesn't get a hatch token, or I say they. If they don't get a hatch token, or if they don't catch a fish this round, they're still going to get some points. Okay, so there we go. Let's carry on. The second round begins, and now we know that there's only 4 dice this round, so we're only going to get to... Well, the angler's only going to get 1 turn, so there we go. Let's just do this. Okay, so we've got a 1, 2, a 3, and a 4. Nice. I'm just going to put these next to the appropriate spaces so it's easier for you to see which one it is. Okay, so these are the ones that are available. Now, in order for me to catch this fish... I'm not going to be able to do it in 1 turn unless I use my finesse to bump it up to 5. He's still got... Actually, it's not even going to work then. I need another finesse. So I actually could land on here, which basically means saying that I like that about the English. There, yes, exactly. So yeah, I'm going to have to be careful and make sure I use that properly. Tell me off if I don't say it. So yeah, basically at this point, I need to think also about stopping the... that angler there from there. I think this column is a good one for me to leave because they will the most likely fish they're probably going to catch is this one, and that's going to be worth less points. There's nothing else, but maybe I try and catch it there. No, I think I'm going to try and catch. Now I still have a white fly, so actually moving here and trying to catch maybe in here, or maybe I can use it to change my fly, but I need more finesse to do that. My goodness, this game is fiddly, but in a good way. So what do I want to do? I've got to catch this fish. I've got to. So I need to spend at least something. Do I want to... Oh, actually, I can always take a dice to bump up my finesse by 2. So actually, if I take one of these dice, maybe the low value one, actually I can use that to bump this up. And use that to sort of manipulate the dice result. And one of those I can use to cover up... well, actually, I can't do it now, but if I covered it up... So let's say I want to end... Let's say I want to end here, so I get extra finesse, right? That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, because of the 4. So if I go 4 here, at that point it wouldn't matter too much. So I need to get 4 finesse, which means I need to bump up a dice to 4, which I could just take this one, but I want to keep that. So if I take this one... and use that one and bump it up by 1 value, that'd be nice. So if I take this value here, just to bump up my finesse by 2, so 1, 2. At this point, by the way, I was just thinking there's nothing I could do regarding the... where's the rest of these cards gone? Did I lose one? Is that it? Is that it? I think that's it. Yes, that's the one. Okay, so let's just do that so I don't forget to shuffle them. Okay, so yeah, basically at this point, we're just going to check if the top the board is showing. There's a little bit of an issue with my camera sort of like constantly moving, so I'm just going to keep an eye on that. Okay, so yeah, basically that's my first action. My second action, if I use this now, I can actually land on this it's confusing. 1, 2, 3, this would go here, and I'd get that momentum tile, which isn't terrible. Actually, that one allows me to change my fly for free. Maybe I do that, and it takes me 1, 2, 3, and lands up here, and then I actually only need 4 for my next one, and I could actually do that. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take this one here, and I'm going to use it to reel in again. So 1, 2, because it's 3 minus the real value, which is 1 right now, and then actually my reward is I get this momentum tile. So there we go. I'll put it here, so I don't forget about it. This one, by the way, is a nice card that actually kind of reminds you exactly what the actions do on here. Cast the column. Okay, so that's fine. Just a reminder. And then the next action is I'm going to take this. I'm actually going to bump it up by spending 2 finesse, just so I can get enough. I can't risk them getting another 6 fish, you see. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this. Oh, I don't know. It's still not that huge a difference. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to spend those. I'm going to take this. Yes, it's going to give them a good chance of getting a yellow fish, but I'm fine with that. So I'll take the 4 and I'll let you just go and I'll catch this fish. So finally, Dolly is in my possession. I'm just going to put Dolly down underneath, actually just to the left there, so you can see the fish that I've caught. In fact, for better readability, I'm going to do this. You can see the point value of that fish as well. So there we go. That's the end of my turn. Now it's the silent angler's turn, and they're going to cast here. So they cast here, and you know what? I am just going to use the app. It is actually much better because having to shuffle 4 cards is a pain. So here we go. Let's see what they get. So they go here. Are they going to catch it? That's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm going to try it again. Does it always get... What? No, wait, hang on a minute. There's 4 times it got the first time was a strike. That's crazy. All right, I'm just going to keep shuffling it loads of times. That's literally the only way I can make this. That's crazy. Oh, you can almost see that then, actually. Look. You can almost see the cards, look. Oh, maybe it's because I'm... So I think that one is a... Oh, that's really weird. Sorry, that's really strange. Okay, anyway, they caught it, so it doesn't matter. They did very well, obviously. Not bitter, not jealous. And they get the rock card. Ah, damn it. That sucks because I really wanted that. So that's another 6-pointer. My goodness. So they're doing very well this round. I need to up my game. However, these do immediately get filled in with some other fish. I think it starts from top to bottom. So let's do this. All right, there we go. So the only thing is it actually takes me like a good number of turns unless I'm like fully prepared to reel in these fish, unless I get really good dice results. Anyway, that's the end. They caught it in column 2, so they would have wanted a green token, which they will. There we go, they'll get that. So there we go. This is what happens now. This goes over here, and then these all get moved down, including this one, and there we go. So yeah, this is the next setup. Now, do I want to change my fly? Because at this point I could do it for free, just change my colour. Or is there any fish over there? Brown is worth 2 points extra to me. Oh, Dolly, by the way, is one of my special ones. So actually, I think I need a set of Dolly, Cutthroat and Brook to get that. You know the math. So, well, it's possible you know the math. Yeah, the math is very mathy. In fact, I got a new follower today, and their name was Do the Math, I think. Which is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool name. Actually, I'll check it on my dashboard because it'll tell me right now. Do the Maths, yeah. So I don't know if Do the Maths is watching, but thank you for the follow. Okay, so we're going to go on to the next round, which is 4 dice. I have a friend whose surname is 4 dice, by the way. So it's quite funny. Whoa, that is low. Look at that. That is so low. Look. 2, 2, 1, and 4. Now the good news about that, it does mean that the what's his face is going to have a really poor time. Now do I cast? I could cast in here right now, but I'm actually not going to get it. I think what I'll try and do is oops. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to cast into column 2, but knowing that I actually can't get any because I don't have the matching fly. But when I get down to here, I'll draw 2 cards, and then what I can do is I can always bump up with one of my finesse to try and get that catch. So I think that's my plan. I'm going to cast into line 2. What do I want? I've got a Dolly. I need a Cutthroat and a Brook. So I'll put it on the Brook just in case. So I'm going to take that, cast, and get the Brook. Now, no, it's not going to catch it. It's not going to catch it. But now I'm tempted because actually if I go here and catch the Coho, I'm going to get this card, or I could just get the Brook, which is actually another one of the ones I need to get 4 points. I think I want this one. So yeah, I'm going to go here. Nothing happens because I don't get a first landing that matches. So I go right into here, and I'm going to take the Coho, and then I'm going to cast. So I need to draw 2 cards. Let's do the app. So yeah, I'm going to shuffle it a couple of times. I'm going to draw 2 of these. Okay. Yes, nice. I'm so happy about that. So I catch this. And I get this rock card as well. So first things first, let's see how much the Coho's worth. It's 4 points. That's actually not terrible. But it's got a resistance of 2. As did those actually, but they're worth 6 points. So let's see what the rock card is. Okay, so this one is a secret objective. Okay, and you can see this kind of relayed, this information relayed over here. So I'm just going to put this here so you can sort of see it as well. This one's a personal objective, and that's a good reason, by the way, to see. Oh, look, there was another like a secret objective there for that as well. So what happens when I reveal this? It's a secret objective, and obviously we have a feeling that it means every grayling or brook that I get at the end of the game is going to be worth +1 point, but I am going to just check that again. It's number 0, at least it says. No, it's not right, is it? 0? Wow, okay, so it's actually, I don't know what, or maybe it's, oh yes, okay, so the skill action, actually, it's not a personal achievement. The skill action says at the end of the game, you earn +1 point for either every grayling you have caught or for every brook you've caught. Okay, that's quite nice. That basically helps me score points. All right, so there we go, back to chat. Let's see what's happening. See what's happening in the chat. Okay, great. So now we're going to try and catch more brooks, I guess. So anyway, we've caught the coho, or we've got it on the line, which means that it's got a resistance of 2, meaning it's going to be very hard to catch. I don't know whether it's worth right now trying to land on the +1 finesse, which would actually be 1, 2, 3, 4. I need 5. I could spend one of these to bump that up to a 5. Oh, I need to fill these in, by the way. So that's a first new fish. We've got the grayling and the rainbow. They're both very colourful. So yeah, basically I'm just tempted now to spend one of my finesse to bump that up to a 5. That 5 will then 1, 2, 3, 4, or I could go and just take the no, it's not going to work. Or I could use 1 to bump that up to a 3, meaning it'd take it down to there, and then that'll cover up the resistance. Or I could just go for it. I think it might be better to negate that value. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend one of these actions here. That allows me to bump up the value of the dice. So I'm going to turn this into a 5. So I take the 5, and then now I have... oh wait, no, that's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I wanted to do. Sorry. I wanted to bump this up to a 3. That's what I wanted. So I'm going to bump this up to a 3, take the 3. So then 3 minus 2 is 1. So this goes up here, and this basically covers up that value. So basically every time I try and reel that fish in from now on, it's going to be whatever the dice value is. So actually, if I took that 4 as my last action, which I could do, it literally just take me up to here, and I'll just bump that fish up right away, which is pretty good. And that leaves them only a 1 value. So... they caught a fish last round. Yes, they did. So they do get point. Okay, fine. So yeah, I'm going to take that 4. Take the 4 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4. So like, I love that. It's one of my favorite aspects of the game. This goes up to here now. And we've almost caught him. And then the last action is taken by the silent angler. So they've got a 1. So they're going to cast here. Let's do the app again. Yeah, I'm going to use the app. I think it's just much easier. Just better to shuffle. So shuffle, 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 just to make sure it's fair. Will they catch that first fish? They will not. Will they catch this grayling? They will. So they'll catch the grayling. Here we go. So they take that. So they catch that grayling, which is only worth 3 points. That's okay. I'm still doing much better than I am, by the way. So they catch that. Now looking at the value of dice, they use as a 1. So they'll take a yellow, but then it's a white. So they're going to take the white one, which is actually really annoying for me. Not going to lie, it's annoying for me. This gets filled in by the cutthroat, which is actually one of the ones I need to get my bonus points. So there we go. And then that's the end of the round. So what happens now is all of these kind of chain on. So this goes down here. And they're already on 3 fish, man. I've got like 1. We've had some low rolls, to be fair. That's what I'm going to blame. So there we go. That's there. Now, this round, we're still on 4 dice. So we'll roll them and see what we got. Okay. Well, we've got some higher values at least. So we've got 2 5s. We've got a 3 and a 2. And so now what I need to do is I could just catch that fish right now. I think that's a wise idea. I don't know about you, but I think I'm just going to take one of these 5s. The one that I want to leave for them is this. That's risky because they're more likely to take a yellow. 3 is no, I can't leave that for them. 5, no, I want to leave the 2. Yeah, I'm going to take this 5 here. So I take this 5, I'm going to reel it in, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we catch the coho. We catch them. There we go. So that's another 4 points for us. So now we're on 7 to their 15. It's not very good. Okay, so I still have a white fly. I could try and catch that yellow fish, that steelhead, you know. That steelhead isn't what I need, but it would reduce it down to a black for when they catch it. So actually, and I do want a tough fish. I do want a tough fish at this point. So yeah, I'm going to take the 3, and I'm going to fish. I'm going to what's it? Whoosh. I don't know if that was any fun. Okay, so there we go. We've cast into this space here. We know we're not going to catch anything here, so we go straight into the next one. I'm going to go here. So I'm going to try and catch the steelhead. It's my only chance. I've got 50% chance. No, it's going to be a 1 in 3 times 1 in 4 times 1 in 3 chance. So here we go. So we're going to shuffle it a couple of times. Oh, I've accidentally drawn. We're going to go with it. And then hopefully this one's a catch. No. Now I do have an option. I still have some finesse, so I could guarantee myself catching it by just spending the finesse to draw another strike card. I think that's wise because I don't want to waste the turn. So I'm going to use my finesse. I'm going to use it. I'm going to draw, please be a strike. No. That was so sad. I'm going to have to spend it. I can't waste the whole turn. I'm too far behind. So yeah, I catch it. Luckily I had that finesse to spare. So yeah, there we go. So we catch the steelhead. The steelhead comes into our thing, and it's a 7-pointer. It's a 7-pointer, but it's got 3 resistance. I think that's the wrong number, the real number. So yeah, that means that every dice I use on it is going to be real tough to get. But can I turn that into a 4? I can't. I can't now, but I would turn that to a 4 because that would mean I could reduce that resistance number, and that would be really good. Yeah, I think that's it. I just realized I could have cast a 6, but I don't need that. Okay, so yeah, basically now I'm going to turn that into a 4, I think. Oh no. Well, I can't. That's the annoying thing. Actually, I think I'm going to take a risk here. I'm going to take the 5. I would actually only move it 2 normally, so I could bump it up. No, I can't bump it up because I don't have any left. So I'm going to just take that 5. That's no good. I already have the momentum tile. So, I mean, it's going to get me closer to what I need. But if I move it here, I have to get a 6. If I get a 5, it's no good. So I either take this now and just move it so it's further along, or I can use this to get the finesse. I think that I'm going to get the finesse, so I'm going to bump this up too. So yeah, it sucks, but it is the way it is. So I've caught that, I've hooked that. So now the dolly comes out to replace that, and now it's the silent angler's turn. So they're going to take the 2. I'm gonna leave the 2 here separately, so these are mine and that's theirs. So they take the 2 and they're gonna cast here first of all. Let's see if they have as bad luck as I do. I'm gonna shuffle it a couple more times because I don't trust it. Here we go. Okay, so they don't catch that. Now here's where we really want them to catch it, because they're gonna get a really bad fish or low value fish. So let's see. They don't. Now we're reversing again. We don't want them to catch it anymore because that'll be worth more points. So let's hope they have as bad luck as I do. Yes! I'm so glad. Now, they didn't catch a fish that round, right? So that's fine. They don't catch anything. But because of that, they actually take this. They take the points here. Now, it's only 1 point for now, which is fine. We can handle that. But obviously, we don't want them to have too many points. We don't want that to happen too many times because you can see it just bumps up to 21 points. But that's 6 rounds where they don't catch fish. And if a fish is worth, like, you know, how much is that? Like 3.5 points each. So it's kind of balancing out. We don't want it to happen too much, basically. Anyway, it's fine. We'll live with it. I think if they don't catch a fish, yeah, they don't get any hatch token, so that's fine. Okay. So now we do the end of the round. So we go down here, and we'll take this. Oh, I've just realized something. We have this. We won this from the first time, right? That was the first fish we caught. And I think that I've played this naughty because I meant to take that out. I think I've got 3 of these, but I don't remember. I'm going to say I took this one. I'm going to say I'm on my 3rd white token. If I haven't, I do massively apologize. But yeah, that's something I'm meant to keep an eye on. So yeah, there we go. So these move down, and we're going to pay attention next time. So this comes over here. We're still rolling 4 dice, so that means they only get 1 turn, the silent angler after me, to my 3 turns. So let's see what happens. Okay, that one's cocked, but I'm going to say that this is great, by the way. This is a great turn. So we've got a 6, we've got a 4, a 5, and a 3. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, it's great. I actually do want to leave, by the way, the 6 for the silent angler, because look, they're going to have like just crap fish. Crap fish all round. But obviously that high value is very good for us. I think we've got a value of 3, right? If I take this 4, right, minus it by that 3, meaning I move 1, just to cover up that real number, because that is going to hold us back so much. So yeah, that's my plan. So there we go. I am going to use that, and now everything I use is going to be value. Now I don't want to take a 3 because that will leave us there and that will hold us back. So if I take a 4, I'll go here. If I take a 5, it's no good. So actually, in a weird way, I'm at that point now where I think I want to manipulate the dice results down maybe. Or maybe take the 3 and up it to a 4, because that will get me here. That'll get me something as opposed to nothing. If I get it into a 6, I get the momentum tile, which I haven't used yet anyway. So yeah, I'm thinking like 1, 2, 3, 4 is best. And if I take that, do I want the 5? Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to take the 3. I'm going to spend, before I take the dice action, I'm going to manipulate it so it goes up to a 4. Then I'm going to take this action. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. And this moves up. And you know what's coming up next. Well, if I take this 5 here, then this just goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it goes right up here, look. So this is tough fish to catch. But I think we've done well. So now the silent angler takes their turn. And this is how it works. They're going to go here. They're going to reveal a card. We're going to use the app again for fun, because I like the app. So here we go. Let's shuffle it a couple of times. Okay, it doesn't matter to me. These are all probably low points. So it doesn't matter if they catch it this time. They catch it, but that's fine. That's actually fine. So they take this fish here. Before we resolve it, we're going to see what number they take. The 6 is a white. There's none of those. So then blue is the next one. So they're going to take. They're going to take the blue. Can you still see those at the top? Yeah, you can. Those rock cards are nothing, by the way. These rock cards are no. You still just move them out of frame. And yeah, this is working out pretty nicely. I think if you want me to zoom in, by the way, when I do like the fishing actions, that can be arranged. If you need to know how many points these are worth. But yeah, this is hopefully working out for you. So that goes to them. That's a 2-pointer. That's good. I like that. And then it gets replaced by this rainbow fish here. And this comes back off the board. So they've got the end of the round already. So it's actually zooming by. They've got 4 fish now, and I haven't even got 3 yet. So it's a bit concerning. So I need to step up my game. So these come off the board. This goes here. This goes on here. And then it's still their turn. They've got 4 dice. 4 dice to play with. Oh, and I haven't caught that yet. Okay, good. Got to make sure I remind. Oh, look at this. This is very high value round. So we've got 2 6s, and we've got a 5 and a 4. So I think I'm going to leave one of those 6s for them. I'm going to take this 5 right now, I think, because this is going to mean I catch that fish. So here we go. Caught that fish. Goes in here. That's 7 points. This goes back here. This takes it out now. And this is great because, look, these are all worth 2 points for me. So that's awesome. So there we go. The next action now, I need to figure out which fish I'm going to take. Now, looking at the fish I've got a dolly, a coho, and a steelhead. If I want to get 4 points, I need a cutthroat and a brook. There's a brook in this column here, so I might try and catch that. And it might be nice to just catch an easy fish for once. The only problem is I need to change my fly. So I actually think I'm going to... I can't change my flight. Yeah, so I'm going to use this momentum tile. So I'm going to use this momentum tile before my turn begins to change the fly. So that basically means I get a new one. So this flips over and it goes back over there. So the only way to get back there is to land on here. So I'm going to change the fly to a... Orange is going to score me points, but also blue is going to score me points. There's more orange on the board. I think orange is the one I'm going to take. So yeah, let's go and take an orange fly. I'm basically like equipping myself ready for this next... for this next section. I might actually bump up the value of the microphone to a little bit louder now, because I think the music is not as loud as I thought it was going to be. So let's just bump it up. Here we go. That should be better. If not, let me know. Okay, so the next round, so I took the 5, that's done. Next round, I'm going to try and catch that brook over there. I think that's worth it. Let's go and catch that brook. So I'm going to use the 6 dice to cast into column there. I'm going to catch this. Now, the annoying thing is I'm only actually going to catch Dolly. Wait, I need a cutthroat or a brook. Okay, so annoyingly, if I don't, I have to think about this, because if I don't, I'm going to get 1 here. I'm only going to get 1 here. Do I want to maybe, I mean, I can't. Oh man, it's tricky. I could cast into column. I don't want to spend finesse. Basically, I don't want to spend finesse to like draw more strike cards, because I don't want to have to rely on being lucky. When I first land, I'm only going to get 1 strike card if it matches. And down here, I could catch something else, but at this point, I'm thinking, do I really want to? Oh, actually, no, brown. That would be, that's fine. Okay, so I've just looked at my board. I'm going to score 2 points for every brown fish that I catch. So if I don't catch the brook, I could get an extra 2 points for catching that brown fish. So I think I'm going to do that instead. So I am going to carry on. So I've got a 3 and 4 chance. The probabilities are not probably like that, but I've got a 3 and 4 chance of catching a fish that I could use. So yeah, I'm going to still carry on with that. I'm going to take the 6. I'm going to try and catch the brook one. Meaning I have to cast the line. So here we go. So shuffle it a couple of times, and we're going to do 1 of these, because that's what happens when you first land. So wonderful, look at that. So I've hooked the brook. The brook. The brook is hooked. So there we go. And there we go. And now I'm going to put this right up there, which is an easy fish to catch as well, which is good. Oh, I reveal it. Oh, look at that. So it's a 1-pointer, right? But it's going to be a part of a set that I want to try it and get. And also, it's got no resistance. So literally, I could catch it this turn. Now, I used an orange fly to catch that, so I'm going to pop that in there. And then the next turn that I got, I mean, I do want to leave the 6 for them. Weirdly, I could leave the 4 for them, because there's a decent chance they're not going to catch it in the first 2 tries. But then, I don't know. The probability in my head says that 4 is best to leave it for them. And then giving me the 6, and I don't have to spend anything. I can just catch that fish and it's done. So I am going to leave them with the co-host. Yes, it's going to be loads of points for them, but I think there's a decent chance that they won't catch it in the first 2 tries. Because, yeah, it's a 1 in 4 and then a 1 in 3, and all of those are less likely to happen. So I think I'm going to leave it for them. I'm going to take the 6. I'm literally just going to go... It's not causing me any problems at all, this, and I immediately catch it. That's still worth a point for me, by the way. So that I catch the brook. There we go. And it is caught. So there we go. Nice easy turn. So this goes over here, and then the last action is going to be this. So now we're going to hope that the silent angler doesn't catch the fish in the first 2 goes. So let's see. Okay, so far so good. So I just got a 1 in 3 chance now of a horrible result for me. So let's see. Damn it. That wasn't great, but it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, they catch that fish, which is going to be a lot of points. 7 points, my goodness. And they used a 4. So the 4 is the orange colour, but there's none there. So there's a grey, there's none of those. Then it's green, so they're going to get a green one. And it gets replaced by a greyling. Hello, greyling. You look very colourful and fun. They have 5 fish now to my 4. So I'm actually catching up with them a little bit. But yeah, the game is... The game is very much anyone's. Okay, sweet. So I'm just checking and seeing on chat, because I haven't checked it for a while. Okay, cool. So yeah, basically now we're going to is that visible? No, I don't want to see that. Okay, so basically now they've caught, right? Yeah, they caught. It was 4 orange, then green. Yes, they got green. Okay, so there we go. So that's the end of the round. Okay, so next round begins. We're going to do this again. as you can see, the options for like which fish you can catch are actually reducing each time we catch stuff. So that's a nice mechanic. Yes, I did buy the game. I have been... so I'm just going to tell you this because I feel like it's been on my mind for a while. I was going to post a tweet about it, but I've never, ever asked a publisher for a game. I'm not in a place, I've never been in a place where I can guarantee that I will be able to do something. If like, I would never ask for something because I've never been in a position where I'd be able to guarantee them anything that they would want. I would happily be asked if I want to receive a game, and that has happened to me a number of times. So for me, after the first play, it was clear that I didn't need it in my collection, but I did like it. I don't feel quite the same. I feel like I really enjoyed this game. Like, this offers me something that no other game in my collection has, in terms of the fact that it's a completely different theme. It's mechanically and thematically tied together. It's very strong in that aspect. And it's a game with a solo mode, which I was like, these days, because we don't know how long we're going to be stuck inside, I did want a game with some solo mode, and this one has a really nice one. Like, I can't get over, it's just like a kind of neat touch, but it feels really, no pun intended there, thought out. Like, the fact is, you have like an upgrade thing, so it reminds me a little bit of Charterstone, because you see that you have the fact that you do collect certain things, and then that gives you a bonus, and that kind of helps you along. And you might not do it, you might not win the game to the campaign, but I just think it's a really nice solo mode. So that, for me, I was like, I do really like the game, and also felt like it would fit in my collection. So yeah, I would say, we're going back to the point that I was saying earlier on, I've never asked a publisher or a designer for a game. I'm like 95% sure of that. Like, there is a chance I may have jokingly asked for one, or asked for one in the time where I can't remember because my memory isn't so great, but I've never asked for it. But I have been asked if I want to receive a game for a review, and if that happens, you know, I give the usual caveats that I can't promise I'll have a review done by a certain time, and this lockdown has obviously completely messed a lot of that potential up, because I was asked to review a multiplayer game, but my housemates weren't into like a heavier game than it was, and so I couldn't convince them to do it. So yeah, I've been very careful about that. But this is one of the games I have bought for myself because I really wanted it and I really liked it, and it's neat. I'll actually have to go back and play. Cold Water Crown is actually the previous game in the series, so actually might generally go back and try that, because if that game is as good as this game, then I'll probably like it. Anyway, okay, so where were we? We need to roll the dice. We've done the new round thing, yeah, so now we roll the dice. Okay, we're on to the next round. Okay, look at that, 5, 5, 5. Loads of 5s here, and then a 3. So this is the where we're at this time. Now, what fish do I want? I'm thinking about getting a brown fish, actually. No, Dolly Cutthroat Brook. Dolly Brook. I could get a cutthroat. I could try and get a cutthroat. Or can I, with my... Well, I can, if I go down there, but I can't... Well, I can't cast... I could cast here to try and get the cutthroat there if I changed the fly, or I could be like, I'm not going to get that, I'm just going to leave it to dangle down there, and I get 2 chance to get it down there, and that's an easy cutthroat, and that'll be an extra 2 points, because I haven't got any points for my Dolly or my Brook at the moment. Cutthroat. Why were you why is that? Is it because it's like offensive, or is it just because it's hard to say? Because, I mean, I can't think of anything right now why I might not like the name. But yeah, let me know. Okay, so basically, let's carry on. We have a decision to make. Do we want to try and get the cutthroat there and change the fly? Or do we want to get the cutthroat? We want to cast there, and we could try and catch it there. But then I don't think... Oh, we could get a brown there. If I change it to yellow, that might be slightly better, and I'll have like a 3 and 4 chance of getting it. A cutthroat, is that a person who will... Yes, but I think cutthroat is also just a description for someone. If someone is cutthroat, it doesn't mean they literally will cut someone's throat. It just means they're ruthless, like they'll do what they can to succeed. So it's not necessarily tied fully to that kind of description of what people, actually do. But yeah, it's, I understand it's not great. It's a bit weird, but I just think of it as like kind of a mean fish. It's a mean fish. Like, yeah. Game of Thrones, yeah, that's fairly apt. Okay, so now I need to make a decision. These columns right now, look at them. There's hardly anything left in there. I think that I'm going to try and I'm going to go in there and I'm going to cast in 3. I'm going to let it go down. I've got one thing, so I've got a 3 in 4 chance of catching it. But you never know. I might get lucky. So I'm gonna cast into 3. This is good as well because actually this is a much better column to leave the silent angler because they're just going to get potentially a black fish instead of guaranteed yellow. Well, almost guaranteed yellow. So yeah, I'm going to cast into column 3. Here we go. It doesn't really matter where. Oh no, it does because no, it doesn't because it doesn't matter. So I'm going to go there. I can't cast anything. Actually, no, that's not true because I think I can use my finesse here. No, I can't. I don't think I can. I think you could only use your finesse to draw a strike card when you're actually drawing one. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to go down here to the cutthroat, and we're going to cast. So I match the orange thing there. So I'm going to draw two fish. Two strike cards. And you know what the funny thing is in this, it actually does say, you say hit me, like as in a blackjack. So yeah, I'm going to say hit me. All right, hit me again. Yes! Oh, I'm so glad I didn't have to spend that finesse. So I do successfully land, we'll hook the cutthroat here. Oh, I forgot to turn it around. It's got a resistance of 0. I think I'm going to get this fish. It's going to be easy. So first of all, we take the orange fly there, and we're going to take this and put it back there. So the rainbow fish has now replaced it. And now we're going to take our next turn, which is a very nice, simple, take this 5 here, and goes... and comes out, and I've caught it. Brilliant. So I actually have 5 fish. I'm competing with them now. Yes, I'm so happy about that. Now there's a difference because now I've got no. Oh yeah, and I get this orange token. There is bonus point of 5 if I get 2 different colored tokens. So do I want to change up the fly now, knowing that I could get it? It's tricky. Or do I just keep scoring the points? Those 4 on its own are worth points as well. Oh, it's tricky. It is actually really tricky. Do I want to try and get like a yellow fly or grey? I don't know. I don't want to cast, by the way, because at this point, like, yes, I could land something. What do I need? I've got the dolly, cutthroat, and brook. So brown is what I want. I could get a brown. I can't get a brown unless I kind of use my thing. So I actually might just skip this. I don't want to because it means it's going to get closer to there. But actually I might just use this and gain some finesse because it gives me the potential to gain a fly. Yeah, so that's frustrating. So yeah, basically that's my turn done. Their turn is to go here and they're going to draw some cards. So let's just shuffle it a couple of times. Are they going to get it? No. I do want them to get it this time. Yes, there we go. It's because it's less points for them. So they caught that fish, that steelhead. So we're 3 points to them, and it's replaced by a rainbow. So they caught it on a 5, which is a blue, and that's the one they get. So they're going to get loads of blue. They're going to get 3 points. That sucks. Oh, I'm so sorry. I know that some of the streamers, the lovely stuff that I watch, they burp on stream, and that's their thing. So I kind of feel like when I do it, it's not very pleasant. So I do apologize. Anyway, okay, so we've done that. That goes there, and now we do the end of the round. Okay, so they're on 6 fish, meaning if they get another fish at the end of this next round, this is going to be the final round, and I'm going to try and catch them. I would love it if I got a 6 or a 3. No, a 6 or a 4 would be good, because if I get in a 4, I have a chance to catch one of these, a better chance to catch one of these. So yeah, let's hope we roll. Well, we've got 5 actually this time, so we actually bring that extra dice back in, meaning that they're going to get a very likely to catch a fish this round. It's pretty certain. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is terrible. I've got 3 1s. 3 1s over here and 2 3s. So that's really changed things up. It means I'm not going to catch a fish this time, I think, unless I go for like a really easy one. So if I went for that rainbow fish, maybe. I'm just looking up the rules now because I want to see that if I cast into, say, column 1, and I didn't catch it, does it just stay there, or does it kind of fly off the board? So let's have a look. Real spaces. No, that's not it. Cast. Let's have a look. What does it say? Drifting. Yeah. If you have not hooked a fish after drifting once, you must drift a second time unless you are in column 1. If you have not hooked a fish after drifting twice, or if you fail to hook a fish in column 1, your cast is over. Yeah, so it's kind of brutal. It means that basically if I don't catch it here, that's it. But there is like 3 chances. I think I'm not going to... Annoyingly, I don't think I'm going to be able to catch a fish. I would probably be better off changing my... you know what? I'm going to use a finesse here. I'm going to change my fly. I'm going to be yellow, because I think yellow is the best option I have of scoring something. So I could cast into column 3 now as my action. Yes, it's very unlikely that I'll be able to catch this fish. If it's green, there's a chance. There's a slight chance here. But yeah, I'm going to basically cast into 3. Now, I want to get... it doesn't matter, so I can just like go here, right? But I want to try and get a brown fish. Or no, the brook. The brook is not going to help me. It's not going to help me in terms of points. But it would get... no, it's not going to help me in terms of bonus points, but it will be easy to catch, and it'll be worth at least 1 point anyway. And then after that, I can try and catch the rainbow fish. Again, it's not going to score me bonus points, but it will get me like at least 2 points for the token. So yeah, thinking that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, I'm going to go here. I'm going to let it run. So I'm going to catch the brook. Matches my... yellow fly, so I get to draw 2 cards. So I'm guaranteed actually to draw to get something, so it doesn't really matter how many times I shuffle it. But yeah, can you see that? So I'm going to draw this first 2 cards. Okay, so it means I'm going to float down and get the rainbow fish, and I get to draw twice. So yeah, basically I'm going to catch it. Well, that was lucky because I wouldn't have got it otherwise. So yeah, this is it. I catch this fish. Wonderful. So this goes here now. And probably going to let them go. I'm probably going to let them go. Oh, I have to take that. Okay, that's good. So yeah, I'm going to... So I caught... Yeah, so I've used that. I've hooked this fish. It's worth 1 point. Has no resistance, meaning that I only need 4 to get it there. So actually, if I take this and I use my finesse to bump it up to a 4, and then use it, I should have taken a yellow from here, by the way. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Because of that, ability bumps up there, and there we go. There we go. So I've done it. So, well, I've done something anyway. So then the last action is, I mean, I don't think I get anything. I mean, there is literally no point. The only thing I could try and do is to try and catch a fish so they don't catch a fish. So maybe I'm just going to try and catch that yellow fish to stop them. So yeah, I'm going to cast into here. And I get a first strike because it matches. And I'm just going to spend my my last finesse to try and catch this. So let's pray for some good results. If I get this on the first try, I'll yes. This is literally just about stopping them scoring points, by the way. So yeah, I catch that, right? Or at least I hook it. It's a 6-pointer. With 2 resistance. That's not bad, but the great news about that is that means they're going to have 2 chances to catch something, and it's all going to be lower point value. So I'm very happy about that. So there we go. There's still a chance they don't catch it, by the way. There is still some chance. Now it's very unlikely, but we'll see. So the 1, they're going to use the 1, so they go here. They're going to catch from here. So let's see if they catch it first. Will they catch the fish? They don't. Well, that means they're going to get a light fish, probably. There we go. So there we go. So they catch this fish, which is a 2-pointer. Damn it. I didn't know that, but it's fine. And then this gets replaced immediately with a black fish card here. And then they're going to cast again. No, is it if they catch it, their turn is over? I got to check that. If the silent actor catches a fish, the silent angler's cast is over. Yeah, so they're going to go again. So they don't get an advance in points. That's good. But they're going to go again. So, and they used a 1, which is a yellow. So they take a yellow there. And then we'll remove that dice. And then we'll do it again. So we're going to go here. And they're probably going to get more points this time. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's do it again. So see, they don't catch that one. They don't catch that one. Will they catch this one? Nah, they do catch it, but it's fine because that's the second best result that could have happened from there. So it's another 2-pointer. That's annoying. Very annoying. And you know what? We're going to replace this anyway because that isn't technically the end. I see you are very much enjoying this. Yes, I am. I like it. Like I said, I've never been fishing before, but it's feels so thematically right, you know? It's great. Okay, so yeah, basically... Oh, do you know what? We both have one co-host. That actually works out very nicely. Okay, so here's what happens now. The round has ended. They've caught 7 fish, so they're gonna get this. So I need to actually score up these points. Do I have some spare paper somewhere? I'm just going to use a notebook that I found. It is mine, by the way. Okay, let's just find a blank page in here. I've got lots of notes in here. They're all like very personal notes. Not really that personal, but yeah. Okay, you know what? I'll just use the back of this page here. Okay, cool. So points wise, first of all, let's refer to the rulebook to make sure we do this right. End of the round. Oh no, end. Okay, scoring. Score is normal. Okay. So score is normal, but with the following addition to the common achievements, you earn 1 point for every hatch token you gained that matches the bonus hatch token on the game board, which is what that indicates, so that's fine. The Silent Langer scores fish cards and the common achievements that you do. They also score the points shown on the achievement track. Okay, so there we go. Perfect. So the scoring for us, so let's do scoring for us first. Fish points. Add the values shown on the symbol in the fish you caught. So this is my total here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 10, 14, 17. So 17 points for me. Okay, so 17. It's weird that it doesn't come with a scoring pad, by the way, but you know what? Very minor flaw in what is a very good game. Okay, so there we go. Then my achievements, at the end of the game, you earn points from common achievements, which is these. Okay, so did I get full sets? I only got 1 full set. I wasn't really paying attention to that, by the way, but I got 1 full set, so that's 3 points for that. That bonus goes to this gentleman over here, this person, sorry, because they got things, so I don't get that. But if you look at the common achievements, we're actually going to score 3 points each, because we had 1 coho each, and that's split between 2, so I get 3 points again. There we go. Then we get points for personal achievements. Now looking at this, do I have more graylings or more brooks? Well, I have 1 brook and no graylings, so I'm going to score 1 point for that. There we go. And bonus achievements, rock cards. Oh no, that is that. Oh, we have a new follower. Thank you. No, I am Gavin. I'm assuming your name is Gavin. Thank you very much for following. I hope you've caught us just towards the end of this game, annoyingly, but I do streams lots of days, mostly solo gaming these days because obviously we're all stuck in the house, but also do some video games and stuff as well. In fact, later on this evening, if you are around, and I know Steph was joining in the last one, we're doing Jackbox, which I've just kind of clarified now. So we'll be doing some Jackbox later on, maybe about 8 o'clock. And then after that, I'm going to carry on with my playthrough of the Paper Mario 1000 Year Door game because I'm really loving that. So yeah, they're a bit video games and stuff, but I mostly do board games. Anyway, carrying on with scoring, personal achievements are slightly different. Oh, okay, so this is how I score as well. So if we look at my... Oh, and I did score that last one at the end. So if we look at the bottom of my real board, you'll see I score 1 point for each orange. So actually, you can't quite see that. Maybe I should try and zoom in to that. I did have a zoom in thing here. No, that's not it. That's not it. Board game mix 2. There we go. So there we go. You can kind of see a little bit clearer there. We score 1 point for every orange. That's 2. And then 1 point for a yellow. So that's another one, 3. And then 2 for the whites, which I've got 3 of. So that's actually 9 points total. So 9 points. Plus, I get 2 points for every brown fish that I caught, which was 0. But I did get a whole set of dolly, cutthroat, and brook. So I got a dolly, a cutthroat, and a brook. So I get 4 points for that. And finally, this one, 4 different coloured hatch tokens. Well, unfortunately, I didn't get any of those. So, cool entertainment program for today. Yes, I'm doing the whole range of stuff. I wasn't sure if Jackbox was actually going to go ahead because we did it last weekend, I think on Sunday. Can't remember actually, but it was really good. It was so fun. And you were very good to take part in that as well. So yeah, this one I don't get anything. So I only got 3 different colours. So yeah, it doesn't matter. There we go. So that's my total from that. And do I get anything else? I'm just checking. I don't get any blues. See, I think that's everything. Right, so my total is 20, 23, 24, 33, 37 points. 37 is the points to beat, all right? But how will they do? So there's still an opportunity. There's still a chance I could win, but looking at their fish score, I'm very much doubting it. So let's see what they score. I think they've got it. I think they've definitely smashed it. Okay, so let's have a look. Score is normal. The silent angler scores fish cards. So let's have a look. 2, 4, 7, 14, 16, 19, 25, 31. They're already on 31 points. How horrible. They score the common achievements as well. So there's 3 for that, 2 for that, and oh my gosh, they got 2 full sets. So it's actually, okay, let's go through. So they got 1, 2, 3, because they got 3 of the blue ones. So that's 3 points. By the way, how long will you pause your interviews? A few weeks. So yeah, if anyone's watching and they're not aware, usually I do these tea and a chit chat interviews with various people in the industry, you know, designers, content creators, sort of like people who work, publishers, as well as, you know, other people. Like, it's just really nice. So I've gotten to chat to these people. It's a very light-hearted entertainment sort of chat where I just ask them like questions and sort of create a little trivia game that you can play along with home. And they're all actually on my YouTube channel. So if you wanted to go back and watch any of them, I've interviewed people like Rob Davia, Elizabeth Hargrave, Bez Sharieri, and I think my most recent one was Efka and Elaine from No Pun Included. So loads of different people. So if you want to go and watch those, that'd be great. And yeah, so I've decided to end, like, I'm calling it season 1. Just because that's what other people do. So season 1 of interviews, I'm going to do my last one with Eric Yurko, who's What's Eric Playing? Fantastic reviewer, very nice person, can't wait to interview, and that's this Tuesday. And then after that I'm taking a break for a while. I don't know how long that'll be, probably only like a few weeks at most. I think it's just to give us time and just to maybe collect a load of people and set up a load of people that I want to chat to in season 2 and do more of them, because I do enjoy doing them very much. And also, I'm not sure what's going on with my work. I need to make sure that I have enough time and set a schedule that works for me, that I can guarantee that I'm going to do these interviews, and maybe down to 1 a week. But yeah, we'll see. Thank you for asking that, by the way. So anyway, we'll go on to the, so there's 3 points for there. They're going to get 6 points for that, so that's 9 in total, plus the 2 there, so 11, plus 3 for that, so that's 14. And the point that they get here is going to be 1. So yeah, they absolutely destroyed it. So they got a total of 46 points to my 37. So yeah, absolutely destroyed my my ability to win that game. And I don't really know, like, I mean, I guess there were lots of low rolls there. I don't feel like there's much I could do. Am I out of tea? That's quite funny. I like that. No, unfortunately, I am. Tea is plenty in stock in Britain, in London where I live, so it's not the issue. There's plenty of tea to go around, but it's just more of a chance to maybe even refresh the format a little bit, maybe think about maybe ways to make it better. And I like the idea of building up to it and then having like a whole list of people ready to go. I think that might be quite exciting. There's already people I know I'm going to interview as well, so that's good. I know I got loads of low value points here, and I didn't really go for the hard ones, the harder fish to catch. But I mean, I think like the low rolls really screwed me over, because they can still catch fish even on low rolls, which is really annoying. And they don't have to like reel them in, they just get them. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much I could have done to win that, but yeah, we'll see. Doesn't matter. I still really enjoyed this game, and I will be playing on with the campaign. At least I'll give myself a little bonus now. So what happens after this? My auntie lives in London. I always enjoyed the English tea with milk. Yes. So where are you from? I feel like you're from possibly one of the Scandinavian countries, just from something I remember you saying. But yeah, the English tea with milk. I have grown to like the tea without milk. For example, green tea I can drink now. I never used to be able to drink that before. And I have drunk like chai and stuff with all, but I generally am a coffee drinker normally. It's either coffee, all kinds of coffee, or an English breakfast tea with milk. That's generally it. From Bavaria. Okay, Bavaria, that's cool. So maybe I'm completely wrong. Is that, I'm going to say that's like the German province, right? No, I remember you told me this before. You told me that where you were from before. Sorry, I don't know why I got that impression. I think it's your profile because yeah, beer, yeah. They should combine tea and beer and make a tea flavored beer. And I think they actually have before, because I think we've had an Earl Grey infused something like an IPA or something before. So, you know, it could happen. Anyway, I'm going to go look. Yeah, so just as a final way to kind of end it, let's zoom back out again of this board game mix. Yeah, there we go. So I'm just going to show you the campaign mode. So here's what happens next. I probably will mark it on, but I'll do it in pencil. So here's what happens. You look at this sheet here. You are going to write down your points in these columns here. I'm not going to do it because I don't like to use pen. But you'd write down your points, and you'd write down the silent Anglers points, just to compare. Then you're going to fill in the guidebook challenge. So for every steelhead that I caught, I'd actually mark one of these boxes. So I actually caught all different fish. I didn't catch a multiple of any kind, but so I would actually fill in like 6 of these, one of each of these boxes. But let's say that I was this person over here. They caught 2 steelheads and 2 cutthroats. So if I was them, I'd mark off 2 of these boxes for cutthroats and 2 of these for steelheads, and that accumulates over games. So the next game, I would then carry on marking based on what I caught. If you fill out a whole box, a whole sort of row here, your reward is to sort of like upgrade your start of game next round by any of these methods here. The other ways that you can actually improve your ability to sort of upgrade is, for example, bonus hatch token. In this case, it was blue. Every blue token, hatch token that I ended the game with will actually bump me up. So not only does it score you a point, but it also scores you there. I think what would have been nicer for me is if I'd got like, oh, thank you so much, Gills Game Shelf. Thank you so much for... You're online. You've just caught me at the end of this game, but I'm just going to talk through the solo campaign. I love a raid. Hello, Will. Thank you so much. What have you just been playing? Oh, hello, Analog Amber. Thank you so much for joining. I've been playing an amazing game. It's called Freshwater Fly. Loving all the emojis there. So this game is called Freshwater Fly. It's actually out. It was actually out at Essen last year, and I actually looked at this. Oh, you can see like the way the angle of that camera is in the bottom there just makes it look pretty cool. Like anyway, yeah. So this is called Freshwater Fly. It's designed by a gentleman called Brian, I think Suhre, and it's published by Bellwether Games, and it's all about fishing. Now, I'm not a fishing person. Like, I don't go fishing in real life. I'm not actually a fan of seafood or anything. And in fact, one of my worst fears is probably being stranded in the... Oh, thank you so much for following, Will. Really appreciate that. Yeah, it's one of my worst fears is being stranded out in the middle of the ocean with, like, no contact with anyone. I can't think of anything worse than that. Where, you know, still be alive. Oh, thank you so much, Analog Amber, for following. Gills Game Shelf, you are amazing. You've brought all these lovely people to my channel, and they love it so much they've already started following. I'll answer Michaela's question. Yes. So not who I thought was being the name for Chits and Giggles. What did you think? I looked like someone else. Michaela says yes. This is a fishing board game. It's amazing. Is Will Cook not Will the boy's name? Oh, I just called you Will because that's your username, but I will say Will Cook for board games. I'll just call you WCFBG. How's that? I'm just going to switch to using the app again for the chat because I'm finding it hard to look over there. But yes, basically, it is a fishing game. It's one of those games that's actually really clever because mechanically the game works just fits with the theme as well. So I'll just do a quick run through of the gameplay. So on your turn, what you're going to do is you're either going to draft a dice. Okay, so let's just say these are the dice. You're going to draft a dice, and you know, multiple players, you'll take turns drafting the dice to do one of 3 things. You're either going to cast out into the column. So you're basically going to go, I'm going to try and catch one of these fish. So then you'd use this massive token over here. Well, so much chat is happening, so let me just have a look. Russ does a Welsh accent for Paper Mario. By the way, Monique, you'll be very pleased to know that I will be continuing the Paper Mario Welsh accent edition this evening, quite late, probably like 11 p.m. my time. So if you want to find out more of that, you're more than welcome to join. So there's lots to this game. The art is very good, by the way. It's very fitting. Even the box art is amazing. So I can kind of show you. I don't know if it'll be, but look at that. But again, like the thing is, I'm not a fisher person. Like I don't go fishing in real life, but I'm just a huge fan of games that really tie thematics and mechanics together really well. So yeah, basically you draft dice. If you decide to cast, you choose one of the spaces in that column. You can only cast to that column if your fly, so these things, match at least one of the colors in the kind of hatch tile at the bottom. So if I had the yellow, for example, here, I was able to cast here. So then I go there, and if I catch it, is determined by the sort of like draw from this very small deck of cards, okay? So basically, you would draw one card the first time you cast, and it matches. So you draw one card. If it's one of these, unfortunately, you don't cast it, and the drifting mechanic comes into play now. So if you don't get it that first time, you move down, and it moves sort of like diagonally adjacent. So here, I could move to either here or here or here. It drifts downstream. But if I was here, I could only move to one of these spaces. So I decided to go here. Okay, I'm going to go down, and I'm going to try and catch this fish instead. Does my fly still match one of the hatch tokens? The good news, yes, it does. So I get to draw 2 more cards, and what I'm hoping for is this card. If I get one of these cards, right, then I catch the fish. So I hook the fish, and then it comes into my sort of reel board, and we'll go over that in a second. But ultimately, if I didn't catch it, it drifts one more time, and I've got one more chance to catch it by checking for any of the hatch tokens. Now in this case, obviously there's none left, but that generally wouldn't happen in a multiplayer game. So once it goes into your board, I'm going to have to turn it down because I haven't got a thing. So basically then it gets replaced, etc. And then the second thing you can do, thank you so much for following, Michaela Ridge. Thank you so much. That's very kind. Okay, so just carrying on. The second thing you can do with the dice, okay, is you can now realize. So let's say that I caught that. I caught that fish. It comes into my my reel board. And now I look, first of all, I can see how many points it's worth. And second, I can see the resistance on that. So that's how strong the fish is to try and catch, right? The yellow fish are harder to catch, and they start on this side of your reel board. But the black fish start in the middle, and the green fish start on the left. And you want to try and push them up towards the left there, because essentially what you're doing is you're reeling the fish in, right? And every time you make a complete revolution, the fish slides over. So that's why yellow fish are harder to get. So let's talk about the reeling. If you take a dice and you use it to reel the action, what you're going to do is you're going to compare this dice, and you're going to compare it to this value there, and you're going to find out the difference between those numbers. So I've got a 3 here, and there's a 2 resistance, okay? So that means that I'm going to pull it 1 space by moving this down, right? So higher numbers are better. If I had a 6, I take 2 from that, and it means 4. So I actually move 4 spaces along here, okay? But if you land on a space, it does something. So even if I don't get it all the way round, because getting it all the way round moves it left, right? But moves it left, full stop. So if I land here, what I can do is I can cover up the resistance number of that fish, meaning for the rest of the time I'm trying to reel it in, it's actually not going to give me any resistance, okay? So that's good, but obviously, so if you don't get much progress, you're still getting something useful. If I land here, I get to choose one of the momentum tiles up here to take, and then I get to use that later on in a different turn. Those ones give you various benefits. If I move here, I can add to the finesse, and a finesse is like a resource, and finesse can be used to manipulate things in the game. And the sort of like the higher up your finesse the track is, the more actions you have, or the more choices you have about what you can do with the finesse. If I land here, this is where the idea of having different difficulty in fish comes into play, because if I have a tough fish, and I land on this space, it's actually going to push it back. If I have a middle fish here, if the fish itself is black, it just stays there. But if it's an easy fish to go, then it kind of is an extra way of it basically pushes it 1 space over, and it catches that fish. So it's really good. So that's where the reeling bits come in. And once you've got fish all the way off the board, that's where it is. Now, I'm just going to talk briefly about finesse. Finesse is like a resource as is, and that's the third thing you can do on your turn. If you can't cast, you can't reel, you can instead, if you choose to do this instead, you can take the dice, and it just bumps you up 2 on this track here. So finesse actions, one of the things you can do is just straight up spend an action. If you're in the top section here, one of the choices you've got that you haven't got anywhere else is to just straight up cover up the resistance value. So you don't have to do it here. You can just do it here instead. If you're in the second or third slot, the option you have is to change the fly. So you can be like, okay, I'm just either going to turn it over, or I'm just going to get a different fly. So basically just swapping the fly that you've got, allowing you to catch different fish in different columns. If you are in the first column, or any of the other columns, by the way, these actions are always available to you. One of them is to add or subtract 1 from the dice value before you take it. So you can be like, okay, I need this to be a 4. I'm going to spend a finesse and just bump it up to a 4, then do your action. You can also move one of these hatch tokens left or right, meaning that it allows you to kind of catch fish that you didn't think about either. That's one thing I did not take advantage of in this game. And the third action you can do is when you're trying to catch fish using the strike cards, you can always spend a finesse to sort of like draw an extra card. So you drew 3 cards and they all turned up that, and you're like, damn, I really want to catch this fish. Well, you can always spend a finesse to just draw an extra card, and that will allow you to sort of like catch the fish. So yeah, that's the teach essentially. Obviously there's more to it. You score points at the end for getting like set collections. So somebody mentioned set collection earlier on. Yes, if you get one of each fish color, that's points. And then so if you get multiple sets, you can get lots of points. You get points for catching the coho fish. Coho might be the most sort of prominent fish in the collection here, and you'll get points for having the most. If you're the most coho fish, you'll get 6 points. But if you share, you tie and stuff. There's also another aspect of the game. The other side of the board has like fixed spaces with these rock cards, but in the single player game, you are told where to put them. And these rock cards, if you hook a fish, so let's say there's a rock card here. If I was to hook a fish here, here, or here, so orthogonally adjacent, you draw one of these cards, and it gives you an ability which you can do. So this one allows you to turn a dice into any other kind of dice that you want. And then basically then you can use that on another turn. So you have your basic actions, which is the dice actions. You've got the cast, the reel, or the add to finesse, and you've always got like a free bonus actions, which you can do as many times as you like, except the momentum action, which you can only do one of these per turn, and you can only have one of these momentum tiles per turn. So if you use it, you do what it says, then you flip it over and you put it back. Okay, the skill action, which is the rock cards, you do those before or after your turn as many times as you like, but obviously each action of these cards you can only use one and they're discarded. And then the other action is to use a finesse action. You can do those as many times as you want, but obviously only depending on where the finesse token currently is. Here you can do all 5 actions. Here you can only do these 3 and this action, and in here you can only do these 3 actions. There we go. So that's the game. It is really good. It's such a good game. So I'm just going to go through the chat, see if anything. You're all talking about food, which is good because I'm very hungry and I'm about to end the stream right now, actually. I'm actually going down to meet, there's a party, a July the 4th party going down in the square. They're serving burgers and stuff. So I'm going to go down and join that. And then, like I said, there's a stream on around 8 o'clock. And there'll be a stream later on in the evening as well, so I'm very excited about that. Listen, there's one more thing I wanted to mention. If anyone lives in Canada or even in the US, I've actually started working with a company called Legend Craft, which is the website legendcraft.ca, and they do like board game accessories. They've kindly said that if anyone uses a code that I give to you, you can get a 5% discount on it. And I will get a bonus as well if anyone buys anything. Obviously, no obligation. I just like to mention it. So yeah, so it's called legendcraft.ca. I'm going to put that in the thing. And the code, by the way, which I got to choose, which I'm very pleased about, is Giggles. So if you use that code, you can find out. Anyway, that's the game. I really hope that was useful. I hope that was helpful and enjoyable for you to watch. Thanks for stopping at the end there, Girls Game Shelf, Monique and co. It's been really nice to meet some of you. Hopefully you'll be able to join us later on. But if in the meantime, thanks for tuning in. Actually, if there's any questions, by the way, if there's any questions before I go, I'm happy to answer them. And in fact, let me just change up the screen so you can see me a little bit closer. If you have any questions, now is your last chance to ask. I don't really know what questions you might have, but yes, I do recommend this game. It's been really good to play, and I knew that even though I didn't play the full game in Essen when I went last year, I just got the demo of the gameplay, I was immediately like, yes, this game's great. Oh, actually, one thing I can do, it's going to mess up the game a little bit, but I'm just going to flip it over to the other side, just so you can see a slight difference in the game, just so you can see how it works. It's more explanatory here anyway, because you'll see that this is the other side of the board. So if you're playing with like 2, 3 or 4 players, this is the side of the board you'll use, and you see the rocks are kind of like established. And this means that when you remove the fish from there, because you've caught it, it reminds you, oh, take a rock card when you're here. So that's quite nice. Yeah, you were on long enough to earn the smile. Nice. Anyway, that's it. Unless anyone's got any questions, I will happily answer any. But yeah, the game is, I love it. I think I'm glad. And yeah, I guess saying to Steph, who was in the chat as well, I bought this game. I wanted to buy it there, but I never got round to it. And then I kept an eye out for it afterwards, and I must have just not had a very big print run because I missed it. So it's finally it was released again, or at least the last sort of print run was made it to retail, and I literally managed to get a copy, the last copy in the thing, and I got it today. So I was literally just straight out going to check the rules and then just put it on the stream. And I might actually play this again on stream because I've enjoyed it so much. So yeah, thank you everyone again. The view out the window is crazy unless it's a fake background. No, that's a real building with real people. You can kind of see my balcony is just over there, and yeah, they've got a really nice like open sort of thing. So like you can see all of the like skyline of London over there as well, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I don't really like to show it off because I don't know, it's just a bit. I mean, I live in a nice place. I'm not rich or anything. Just looked for a nice place that I could afford, and so yeah, I'm not like, don't think I'm some like rich boy with like trust fund stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I am happy with where I live. So yeah. Anyway, I'll leave it there because I'm gonna have some food myself. And but thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you next time. Until then, take care and have a good game.